This video discusses the 2K rule. We use the 2K rule to determine the number of classes so we can make a frequency distribution table. So you can see the formula up here. At the top, the 2K rule is 2 to the k power, and we need it to be greater than or equal to n. And k is the number of classes. That is what we're trying to find. And we're going to plug in the number of data points, which is n. So let's look at the first one. N equals 100. So you can definitely use your calculator to help you here. So let's just try. Let's just pick a number. Let's do 2 to the 6. So 2 to the 6th power. We need it to be greater than or equal to 100. So if we do 2 to the 6th power, we would get 64. And clearly, 64 is not greater than or equal to 100. So we could try 2 to the 7th power and see if that is greater than or equal to 100. So if we plug in 2 to the 7th power in our calculator, you would get 128, which is greater than or equal to 100. So notice that when we use 6, it was too small. Now, we could, if we would have tried 8 to begin with, if you put that in your calculator, you would get 256, which is greater than or equal to 100. So we could have 8 classes, and that would work. But we want to get the exponent that is closest to 100, either equal to 100 or a little bit over 100. So we want to get the exponents that is close as possible to that number. So that's important to remember. So for the first answer, the most appropriate number of classes would be 7. So we could put k equals 7 for the first one. So now that we have done that one, let's look at the next one. For the next one, we want to find out if, let me go back to my marker color here. So we want 2 to the k, and we want it to be greater than or equal to 300. So you could just use your calculator here. We already know what 2 to the 7th is. We know that that was 128, and we know that 2 to the 8th is 256. So we're getting pretty close. So you could try 2 to the 9th and see if it is greater than or equal to 300, because we know that 2 to the 8th is 256. So that is not greater than or equal to 300. So if it's either 9 or larger, so if you do 2 to the 9th, you get 512, which is greater than or equal to 300. So for our next one, k equals, what did we say? 9. All right. And we know, let's just keep in mind here that 2 to the 9th is 512. Just so we have that in our minds. So for the next one, 2 to the k is greater than or equal to 1,000. Well, we know that 9's not going to work. So let's try 10 and see if it is greater than or equal to 1,000. 2 to the 10th is 1,024, which is greater than or equal to 1,000. So K is 10. All right. So we know that 2 to the 10th is 1,024. All right, so let's look at the next one. 2 to the K is greater than or equal to 2,000. Well, we know that 10 is not going to be enough. So let's try 8 and see if it is greater than or equal to 2,000. I'm sorry, let's try 11. I'm not sure if I said that. So 2,048 is greater than or equal to 2,000. So there would be 11 classes. And that is how you use the 2K rule. Let me know if you have any questions.